Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and welcome to Volume 2 of Kaladesh Spoilers, where you get to, in real time, see me see some cards for the first time and react to them and try and understand better how strong they are in the format. Before we start it off, let's get a couple corrections from Volume 1. I screwed up a couple times. So firstly, Torrential Gear Hulk, I believe I said you could cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. You can only cast target instant. Still a very strong card. And secondly, second correction are the what are they? Let me find them. Here they are. The module cycle. I said whenever you get, I read them as if whenever you get one or more energy counters, you get a +1/+1 counter for each energy counter. But no, it triggers whenever you get one or more energy counters. So if you get 3 energy counters, you still only get one +1/+1 counter, which makes it a lot more balanced. Still a strong card and still a very good card. All right, so we left off on the Thriving cycle. Now we're going to move on. So let's get to it. All right, we've got Cultivator's Caravan, 3 mana vehicle, 5/5. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and it has Crew 3. And as we recall, Crew is tap any number of creatures you control with total power, whatever the crew number is or more, and then the vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So I like this one a lot because it's colorless ramp for any color, albeit at a little bit of a steep price, but it doesn't enter tapped, so you get to ramp with it right away. And a 5/5 is a nice certainly a nice beater for 3 mana. So I'm really kind of interested to see how these vehicles play. If they're anything like Emerge turned out to be, they could be really good, definitely. Next we have Wildest Dreams, 2x and green. Sorcery, rare, return X target cards from your graveyard to your hand, exile Wildest Dreams. I actually like this card a lot. I think this could net you a lot of good card advantage in Limited. I mean, 5 mana, it's 2 X cards, 2 cards. I like that it's any card, too. It's not just permanents. Any card from your graveyard to your hand is pretty awesome. So, I've played Seasons Past quite a bit in Limited and was very impressed with that. I think Seasons Past is probably better than Wildest Dreams, but I think Wildest Dreams is actually very good. 7 mana to return 3 cards, 3 mana to return 1 card. I think there's certainly enough versatility on this card where it's going to be very good in Limited. Absolutely. Next we have Kambal, Consul of Allocation. 1 colorless, or 1 generic, a white and a black for a 2/3 legendary human advisor creature. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This card's really awesome. I really like this card a lot. It's a really strong ability. It's non-creature spell too, so it's not just instants or sorceries. We're in an artifact set, so whenever your opponent casts I don't think the vehicles are creature spells, right? Because they're just artifact vehicles. They don't become a creature until, I'm pretty sure I would venture to say vehicles are non-creature spells despite having power and toughness. Someone maybe can correct me on that. But Enchantments too, this card's awesome. Really difficult to play against, I'm sure. And it even punishes your opponent for when they finally have to cast that removal spell on it. So just a very good, efficient, awesome card. I like this one a lot. I'm looking forward to playing it in Limited. Next we have Lost Legacy, 1 and 2 black, rare sorcery. Name a non-artifact, non-land card. Search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles his or her library, then draws a card for each card exiled from hand this way. This is kind of an interesting card. I can't recall. This seems weaker than normal because the player gets to draw, but maybe I'm overlooking the fact that other cards didn't get to take from the hand. Maybe ordinarily it just takes from graveyard and library, but it feels like it usually takes from hand, and it's non-artifact, non-land. This card seems a bit underpowered to me, so I'm not a big fan of this one. I mean, I guess you could play it on yourself to, like, if there's a bunch of cards in your hand you don't need. It seems like a waste, though. So Not a huge fan of Lost Legacy. Maybe there's some aspect of it I'm overlooking, but it seems a bit underpowered compared to cards I've seen of similar strength, similar capabilities, I should say. All right, next we have Aether Hub. When Aether Hub enters the battlefield, you get an energy counter. Tap, add generic or add colorless to your mana pool. Tap, pay energy counter, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So one-time use, add 1 mana of any color, and then tap, add colorless. This card will be perfectly playable in limited. It's a good way to splash spells. And in a real pinch, you can just play it for a colored mana. If you're not, if you don't have your splash card, but you need a certain color, the one-time use of it. Plus, maybe you're an energy deck, and then it's just adding mana of any color whenever you want it, which would also be good. So I like Aether Hub. I think this is definitely going to be a good limited card. Even if you're not an energy deck, just using it for a one-time splash, like I said, I think is going to be absolutely useful, especially since it enters untapped. Next, we have Dynavolt Tower. 3 generic rare artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get 2 energy counters. And then tap, pay 5 energy counters, and Dynavolt Tower deals 3 damage to target creature or player. This is a good card. You have to be pretty dedicated energy, though, in order to make it work, or pretty dedicated instant or sorcery. Either way, quite a bit of a build around. But tap and deal 3 damage to a creature or player is certainly a powerful effect. I don't know if this is going to be a snap first pick, since, like I said, it's kind of a build around. Like, even if you're a dedicated energy deck, if you have like 3 instants or sorceries in your deck, it could be that this card's just going to be too difficult to activate more than once, in which case it's a little bit too difficult to use. But it seems like one of those cards where, like, if you're in some sort of blue-red spells build, it would be a very fun deck, a very fun card to play with, rather. So, very much a build around, but a cool card. Next, we have Midnight Oil. 2 generic, 2 black, rare enchantment. It enters the battlefield with 7 hour counters on it. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card and remove 2 hour counters from Midnight Oil. Your maximum hand size is equal to the number of hour counters on Midnight Oil. Whenever you discard a card, you lose 1 life. So you get to draw an additional card and remove 2 hour counters. Your maximum hand size is equal to the number of hour counters on Midnight Oil. I see. Okay, so it starts off with 7 hour counters. Then the first time you draw cards off of it, your max hand size is 5. So this is a cool card. I think it's pretty powerful, actually. You're drawing an additional card for the next 4 turns, but you are going to be losing some life, possibly. You could just burn through your hand still. I think this is actually a pretty powerful card. You're going to draw you're basically drawing 4 extra cards for 4 mana over 4 turns and losing life if you just can't play those cards. But I think this is a pretty limited playable rare. 4 mana to draw 4 extra cards over 4 turns is a very good price to pay, I would say, overall. Actually, you just get to keep it. It doesn't go away either. When it runs out of hour counters, your maximum hand size is 0. But you're still drawing an additional card. This card's still good. I like this card a lot, actually, especially if you're a deck that can just burn through your hand. So that's a cool card. One could say you're burning the Midnight Oil. Okay, next we have Aerial Gatherer. 2 and a white instant. Exile target creature you controlled and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Draw a card. So, anti-removal spell, also good with enter the battlefield effect creatures. But it does seem like a bit of a steep price for that effect. So, overall, not usually a card I play in limited. I could see some people love that style of effect, though. So, I imagine I'll play against it often. Probably won't play with it too much, but maybe I'll give it a chance. Next, we have Dubious Challenge. 3 and a green, rare sorcery. Look at the top 10 cards of your library. Exile up to 2 creature cards from among them. Then shuffle your library. Target opponent may choose one of the exiled cards and put it onto the battlefield under his or her control. Put the rest onto the battlefield under your control. This is a difficult card to maximize, to play well, right? Because your opponent is netting a creature and so are you, but they get the choice. That's tough. This seems like a really difficult card to get the better side of. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think I would play this card in limited. It just seems far too dangerous. Your opponent's going to get the better creature. They're going to choose the better creature. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems a little bit, especially at the price, too. Like 4 mana to give your opponent the better of 2 creatures and you end up with 1. I mean, maybe sometimes it'll be just a really difficult choice, but they're still the ones getting the choice. So, no, I don't really like Dubious Challenge all that much. Seems like too much of a liability. I don't like paying mana for a liability. All right, next we have Cloud Blazer. 3 generic, a white and a blue for an uncommon human scout. It has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, to gain 2 life and draw 2 cards, and it's a 2/2. So, obviously, you can compare it immediately to Muldrifter, but Muldrifter was a better card because it was both monocolor, and you could pay 3 mana to play it as a divination. But this card is absolutely insane still, because Muldrifter was insane. This has the added bonus of gaining 2 life on top of it. So I very much like this card, and I imagine it's going to see a ton of play in Limited if you're in blue-white, which even means it could go late, too, depending on how powerful blue-white is. But there's no blue-white players. Not a ton of people are going to be grabbing at this one, so I really like this card. Definitely looking forward to playing that in Limited. Next, we have Unlicensed Disintegration. 1 generic, a black, and a red, uncommon instant. Destroy target creature. If you control an artifact, Unlicensed Disintegration deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. This card's insane. This is very premium removal. Deal with anything, then if you control an artifact in an artifact set, deal 3 damage to that creature's controller. Yeah, this card is like a slam dunk multicolor first pick. Absolutely. That card is very strong. In fact, Cloud Blazer might be a reason to go blue-white first pick, just because I think that effect is very strong too. But yeah, Unlicensed Disintegration seems insane. Yeah, I could see myself splashing for that, to be honest. Next, we have Smuggler's Copter. 2 generic mana. It's a vehicle. It's a rare. It's a 3/3 with flying. And whenever it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And it's got crew 1. This is a great rare. It's obviously an efficient cost, like all the vehicles. It's got evasion. It's got a loot effect, and it only has to crew for 1. It's a great card. Very, very strong, rare vehicle. Definitely gonna... I would very easily first pick that often. Next, we have Welding Sparks. 2 and a red, common instant. Welding Sparks deals X damage to target creature, where X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control. This is a great card. It's an instant that burns at least for 3. And then even more if you control artifacts. This seems like a very powerful, very, very powerful common removal spell. So this seems like you'd easily first pick this often as well. Next we have Fragmentize. 1 white sorcery. Destroy target artifact or enchantment with converted mana cost 4 or less. And it's a common. So depending on the set, these cards either see a lot or a little play. In a set that's got a lot of artifacts, a lot of vehicles, and especially since a lot of these vehicles are already very efficiently costed, I think Fragmentize is a fantastic common, very strong. I mean, it helps that it looks like it's destroying a vehicle in the picture, but maybe I'm wrong. But yes, I think Fragmentize is going to be fantastic in this format, even at sorcery and with the limited mana cost. Next, we have Underhanded Designs. 1 and a black, uncommon enchantment. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That seems familiar. Extort. Next, and then it's got 1 and a black, sacrifice Underhanded Designs. Destroy target creature. Activate this ability only if you control 2 or more artifacts. Super strong card. Super, super strong card. Now, granted, you can't use it unless you have 2 or more artifacts, but we're talking about a set that's got the vehicles. We've got the dudes with fabricate. So yes, underhanded design is like the sinister concoction of this set, except possibly a little bit more difficult to activate. But I love this card. Wow. I mean, it drains and it can destroy a creature anytime if you control the artifacts. Yeah, underhanded design seems very, very, very strong. Okay, next we have the basic lands. Obviously, we can skip those. How many were there total? I thought there would be, I think, 15. So it looks like there's 14. That's weird. Is there only 2 mountains? Huh, that's weird. Okay, next we have Toolcraft Exemplar. 1 white, rare dwarf artificer. It's a 1/1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an artifact, Toolcraft Exemplar gets +2/+1 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more artifacts, it also gains first strike until end of turn. This is a very cool card. So at its best, we're looking at a 3/2 first strike in a deck with a ton of artifacts. I don't know if I'd slam first pick it, because if you play it on turn 1, it's just going to be a 1/1. But this is a cool card. This is one of those cards that could make its way into Constructed, because a 1 mana 3/2 first strike in like an Affinity deck would probably be good enough, right? 1 mana 3/2 first strike? Maybe not, but it seems like if 1 mana 3/2 first strike's not good enough these days in Standard, then, or not in Standard, but in Constructed, then I'm just not, I'm just out of the loop, I guess. But it seems like a strong card stronger for Constructed than it is for Limited. In Limited, it's just fine. I mean, it's certainly good if you have a lot of artifacts. Okay, next we have Electrostatic Pummeler. 3 generic rare construct 1/1 creature. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. Pay 3 energy counters. It gets +X/+X until in turn, where X is its power. So this card doesn't seem that good to me. It generates 3 right away, which is decent for an energy deck, definitely. But unless you have some sort of pump spell or a bunch of energy counters, it's really not getting that big. So I don't think Electrostatic Pummeler is all that exciting, but maybe somebody sees something I don't see. All right, next we have Combustible Gearhulk. We've seen the other Gearhulks, so here's the red one. 4 and 2 red, mythic 6/6, first strike. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then Combustible Gearhulk deals damage to that player equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. So this card is, in much like the way we like to see red, it has huge upside potential or could do nothing. But I do wonder how often the opponent's going to have you draw 3 cards. It's one of those things where if your opponent's at like 5 to 8 life, they probably are going to have to let you draw 3 cards. But if they're at 20, they'll probably just risk you putting 3 lands into your graveyard. So I like Combustible Gearhulk, but it's certainly not the most powerful of the Gearhulks. But in Limited, certainly going to be worthy of slam dunking that as the first pick, much like all the Gearhulks. All right, next we have Consulate Surveillance. 3 and a white, uncommon enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you get 4 energy counters. Pay 2 energy counters. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn by a source of your choice. This card is okay. So it's kind of in the same vein as the Circle of Protections. However, you can't prevent damage that a source would deal to like a creature you control. You can only prevent the damage to you, which makes this significantly worse. On top of that, it also uses energy counters, which is only in this set. I presume in the next set as well. So all in all, not that insane. But if you're a dedicated energy deck, I could see this card being very good. And if you can consistently, continuously generate energy counters, then yes, you can certainly protect yourself for many turns. So maybe for the right energy deck, this card would do something. But outside of that, probably just a bit too narrow and expensive. All right, next we have Glint Nest Crane. 1 and a blue, uncommon 1/3 bird with flying. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I like this card. We're in an artifact set. We're looking for vehicles. This is definitely going to be a good card for that. And it's a 1/3 flyer for 2. So, yes, this is a good uncommon. Uncommon, evasive creature with a big butt that gives you card advantage. Can't really ask for much more than that. So I would definitely say this card is extremely playable and limited. Next we have Blossoming Defense. 1 green, uncommon instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains hexproof until end of turn. This is a great card. Wow. This is just a super powerful combat trick in limited. It protects against removal or can boost the creature. So I really like this card a lot. Now, granted, you can only target creature you control. So you can't give your, like, if your opponent's trying to buff a creature with something that'll kill you, you can't, like, do a little buff and give it hexproof, which is fine. It makes sense anyway. And this is a super strong limited card. Actually, if you give an opponent's creatures hexproof, does that mean they can only target it with spells? Probably. I think its hexproof probably reads its controller is the only one that can target it. So yeah, it makes sense that you could only target a creature you control. Still, this card's insane. That's going to be a super annoying combat trick to deal with in limited. Absolutely. Okay, next we have a Contraband Kingpin. A blue and a black, uncommon 1/4 Aetherborn Rogue creature with lifelink. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. This card seems super strong in limited. 2 mana 1/4 lifelink with additional increase to card quality whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, no price. Yeah, this card seems extremely good. That'll be a very fun one to play with in limited, definitely. All right, next we have Prakata Club Security. 3 and a black, common Aetherborn Warrior. It's a 3/4 vanilla creature. Certainly good. Black it notoriously has the least efficient creatures in the game, except for like the demons and stuff, but demons have the downside in their rares. So common creatures that are super, and this I would say a 3/4 for 4 in black is very, very good actually, because that's just usually we're looking at hill giants with abilities at uncommon in black, but common 3/4 for 4. Yes, this card's very playable. Absolutely. I mean, it's not. I suspect it'll go. You could hope to get it 7th, 9th pick, something like that, maybe, and it's gonna play really well for you, I think. Next, we have a Lawless Broker, 2 and a black, common Aetherborn Rogue, 3/2 creature. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This card's certainly good. I like that it trades for something and then buffs a creature you control. This is a great common black creature. So back-to-back good vanilla black creatures. I guess Lawless Broker is not a vanilla creature because it has an ability, but just good price. Both of them, just good price. Very good. I like this Aetherborn type. I wonder if we'll see some cards that, do something with it, synergize with it. We'll find out. Eliminate the competition. 4 and a black, rare sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Eliminate the competition, sacrifice X creatures, destroy X target creatures. Kind of a big price on the top end. However, if you're playing a lot of Fabricate, I could see Eliminate the competition being very good. It certainly seems like a card you're very much playing. I mean, it's in the same vein as like a Ruthless Disposal, right? They're both 5 mana. They both deal with multiple creatures, but they both come at a cost of both the card itself as well as other cards. So I definitely think this is going to see a lot of limited play. Do you slam first pick it? Maybe. I mean, it does deal with anything. I feel as though it's a bit of a build around in that, I mean, not only do you just need creatures, but you want a lot of little tokeny creatures. So I think this card's going to shine the most in a Fabricate deck or a deck that just generates a lot of little creatures. Okay, I'm going to skip these. These are Kaladesh Masterpiece series, not standard legal cards. So these are all cards that have already been printed. So we're just going to skip those. All right, next we're going to go, we're going to skip the Planeswalker deck cards as well. All right, back to Kaladesh. So we've got Authority of the Consuls, 1 white, rare enchantment. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under opponent's control, you gain 1 life. I like this card. This card's cool. That effect is pretty good. Not even in limited, and constructed too. I mean, Thalia has it. The creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. I like it. I like that ability. It can be really backbreaking in the right situation. I mean, if you're on the play and you're an aggro deck, that's a really powerful effect. The other ability isn't exactly for aggro because gaining life isn't really what aggro cares about. They're much more just dealing damage to the opponent as quickly as possible. So it seems like it's a little bit at odds with itself because the first ability is more of a tempo aggro ability, and the second one is more of like a control thing where you want to gain life and make the game go longer. But either way, it's a strong card, and I definitely think it'll see some play in limited. Absolutely. I don't think I would first pick it very often. Maybe occasionally, but I don't think it's like a slam first pick or anything. Next is Bomat Courier. 1 generic mana for a 1/1 rare construct creature with haste. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of your library face down, and then you can pay a red, discard your hand, sacrifice Bomat Courier, and put all cards exiled with it into their owner's hands. This card's cool. I don't really like it all that much just because it's a 1 mana 1/1 haste. So it's not exactly strong enough for that ability to be highly... I feel like you're just not going to get to use it all that often. Basically, turn 1 you attack with it. Let's look at the best case scenario. Turn 1 you attack with it, you exile the top card, and you can't look at it. Next turn, you attack again, you get a second card. Probably by second or third turn, your opponent's going to have something that can easily block it. So at best, you're looking at being able to discard your hand in the late game and get 3 to 4 cards, which is actually very good. But this is one of those cards where when you top deck it, it's not very good. Basically, when you top deck it, you can attack with it and then immediately just like exile because you don't have a hand left, sacrifice it and get 1 extra card. Actually, when you look at it that way, it's really not that bad, actually. So even when you top deck it, it lets you basically get an extra card at the top of your deck. Okay, you know what? I'm actually on board with Bomat Courier. After kind of talking through it and seeing how it would play, I think it's actually a pretty good card. It's actually a reasonable top deck, and it's a very good turn 1 play. So yes, Bomat Courier is a legitimately good card. Next we have a Scrap Heap Scrounger. 2 generic, rare 3/2 construct creature. It can't block. 1 black, exile another creature card from your graveyard. Return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a cool card. Efficient, colorless, and it comes back at a cost that's really not that tough. Just exile another creature card from your graveyard. Yes, this will see a ton of play, and I think it's a very first pickable card just because it's so efficient and colorless. So it doesn't commit you to a color in your first pick, gives you an efficient creature. I mean, I guess it does kind of commit you to black, doesn't it? Because you want to activate the ability. A 2 mana 3/2 that can't block isn't good for every deck. So maybe it's not a slam first pick, but it is a powerful... I mean, in any black deck, you're absolutely going to play it and be happy about it. But the fact that you can't block with it is very relevant. So upsides and downsides to this rare, but all in all, I do like it. I like that it keeps coming back, keeps swinging, maybe keeps trading with things. Okay, next we have a Planeswalker, which is always exciting. Dovin Baan. 2 generic, a white and a blue for a mythic Planeswalker Dovin. It's got 3 loyalty, +1 loyalty until your next turn. Up to 1 target creature gets -3/-0, and its activated abilities can't be activated. -1, you gain 2 life and draw a card, and -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap steps. So this card protects itself, gives you life gain and card advantage, and its emblem is admittedly not insane, but pretty good. Can't untap more than 2 permanents. So it's like stasis style effect a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's a Planeswalker, so you're definitely going to play it in limited. And like I said, it protects itself reasonably well. Goes up to 4 loyalty. And makes a creature weak until end of turn. So I like it. I don't think it's insane, but I definitely like it. I think it's a good Planeswalker. I'm looking forward to playing it in Limited. Okay, Inspired Charge. This is a reprint. 2 and 2 white. Common instant. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. So the fact that it's an instant makes it good. But I think I like Beloved. I play the card so much. The one that's got Escalate +2/+0 or +0/+2 or both. So Inspired Charge is always a fine common, but I would say a lot of time it's probably going to be competing as your 23rd card. In a set that's got Fabricate, I could definitely see it being a lot better. If you have a dedicated Fabricate deck and you just pump out a bunch of tokens, then yes, Inspired Charge will be good. Outside of that, it's only okay. Okay, next we have Aetherborn Marauder. 3 and a black, uncommon, 2/2 Aetherborn rogue creature with flying and lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, move any number of +1/+1 counters from other permanents you control onto Aetherborn Marauder. It's a cool card. Just a 4-mana 2/2 flying lifelink is good. If you have cards that put +1/+1 counters or generate their own, if you get one +1/+1 counter, that is all gravy, baby. Because a 4-mana 3/3 flying lifelink would be really nice, like super strong. So even if you don't move any, it's good. If you move a bunch, it's insane. I like this card. This seems like a really fun limited card to play. All right, next we have Salivating Gremlins. 2 and a red, common 2/3 gremlin creature. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +2/+0. Salivating Gremlins gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. This card's super strong. At common? Wait a second. So you fabricate 2, you get 2 artifacts. This thing is 6/3 trample? Wow. Yeah. This card seems insane at common in this set. This card just beats down so hard. Yeah. I don't even understand why this is common. It's so good. Unless, once again, am I overlooking something? Whenever an artifact enters. So fabricate 2, you get 2 artifacts. You get 2 1/1s. This gets +4/+0 and trample. Swing for 6/3 on turn 4, maybe. 6/3 trample. Yeah, I don't get why this card is so strong. It seems insane at common. Next we have Ruinous Gremlin. 1 red, 1/1 common gremlin creature. 2 and a red, sacrifice Ruinous Gremlin, destroy target artifact. Very good in an artifact set. Of course, this card will be highly, highly played in Limited, I imagine. It's a little vehicle wrecker. I like it. It's on a vehicle, wrecking it as we speak. Okay, next we have Maulfist Squad. 3 and a black, common 3/1 human artificer creature with Menace and Fabricate 1. This is a great card. Menace is just a great mechanic. I really like that. It seems like they've kind of dipped back on Intimidate. I'm not sure if they completely removed Intimidate or not, but they definitely completely removed Fear. They replaced Fear with Intimidate, and now Menace is kind of the newest version of all of those. It's a nice way to have evasion that's not flying and not as annoying as Intimidate or Fear is. So Menace is very good, especially with high power, and Fabricate. Potentially 4 power. 4 mana, 4 power Menace would be great, or you get the artifact. Yeah, Maulfist Squad seems like a very solid 4-drop common in this format. Okay, next, Whirler Virtuoso. 1 generic, 1 blue, and a red for a 2/3 uncommon artificer creature. When it enters battlefield, you get 3 energy counters, and then pay 3 energy counters, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter creature token with flying. This card's fantastic. So 3 mana, 2/3 with a 1/1 flyer at worst. At best, maybe you have some other applications for the energy counters, or maybe you have a ton of energy counters, you can just pump out a bunch of 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens. So yeah, Whirler Virtuoso seems fantastic, amazing, very, very good limited card. Next we have Padim, Console of Innovation. 3 and a blue, 1/4 rare Vidalcan Artificer card, creature card. It's a legend as well. Artifacts you control have hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest convert mana cost or tied for the highest convert mana cost, draw a card. This card's very good. Protects all your artifacts, potentially gives you card advantage if you're a dedicated artifact deck. I don't think it's necessarily a slam first pick, but I imagine it's going to net you some card advantage a lot of the time if you're a dedicated artifact deck, so I like it. Next we have Inventor's Apprentice. 1 red, uncommon, human artificer creature. It gets +1/+1 as long as you control an artifact. So it's potential Curd Ape for artifacts instead of controlling a forest. I like this card. This card is very like that white rare that's a 3/2 first strike. This is even easier to activate, right? I guess the other one just wanted 1 artifact and it was at least a 3/2, and then it got first strike if you control 3 or more. So, but this is only an uncommon, so I suspect you're going to see a lot more of this. I like it. Very good. Definitely limited playable. I guess this has the upside of being a 1/2. The rare is a 1/1 if you don't have the artifact. So, oddly, Inventor's Apprentice might be... Well, it's certainly going to be played more limited just because it's an uncommon, but good card. I like it. Okay, Attune with Aether. 1 green, common sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. You get 2 energy counters. So, good for splashing. Not an insane card, though, because it doesn't rampant growth. But if you're an energy deck, or you just need to splash and your base color is green, I suspect you're going to be playing a lot of Attune with Aether. Okay, next we have Chandra's Pyrohelix. 1 and a red common instant. Pyrohelix deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players. It's a great card. I love cards like this. Common value card that can potentially give you a 2-for-1, especially in a set that's got Fabricate, little 1/1s floating around. Pyrohelix seems like just a really strong common card. Next we have Tezzeret's Ambition. 3 and 2 blue, common sorcery. Draw 3 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. This card's very good. Very good card advantage. So 5 mana, draw 3. Pretty good chance you're going to have an artifact, especially considering if you're in blue. Because blue typically deals with a lot of artifacts and probably has a lot of Fabricate. And at worst, it's draw 3, discard 1, which isn't horrible. It's certainly not draw 3, but if you can just draw 3 for 5 mana, you're pretty happy. Next, we have Impeccable Timing. 1 and a white, common instant. Impeccable Timing deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. It's a great card. It's not quite Gideon's Reproach, but it's certainly going to see a ton of limited play and probably very pickable early. Because unlike Puncturing Light, that only destroys it if its power is 3 or less, this just deals 3 damage to it. So I like this card. This card is definitely, well, not definitely, but not strictly, but I would say most of the time better than Puncturing Light. Okay, next we have Sky Whaler's Shot. 2 and a white, uncommon instant. Destroy target creature with power 3 or greater. Scry 1. I like this card. This card is very main deckable in limited. And you get to scry 1 in white, so increase your card quality in white. White doesn't get a ton of card draw or card quality increasing. So I don't even think white gets a ton of scry, usually. So I like this card. This card is an awesome limited card. Next we have Longfinned Sky Whale. 2 and 2 blue, 4/3 uncommon whale creature with flying. Wow, it really is a sky whale. Longfin Sky Whale can block only creatures with flying. This card is super strong. It doesn't even matter that it can only block creatures with flying. 4 mana, 4 power flying at uncommon. I mean, it's cheaper than Sarah Angel and beats down quicker and faster in blue. So yes, this card is probably a slam first pick a lot of the time, solely based on the fact of how efficient it is. Very, very strong uncommon. All right, next we have Aether Squall Ancient. 5 and 2 blue for a 6/6 rare Leviathan creature with flying. All these sky whales coming around, huh? Sky sea monsters. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy counters. All right, I like the continuous energy counter increasing. And then pay, what is it, 8 energy, return all other creatures to their owner's hands, activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. This card's good. I don't see how this is bad. 7 mana, 6/6 flying. If you're in an energy deck, maybe you can bounce all the other creatures right away. I mean, you can only activate it as a sorcery, so you can't do some super, like, end of your turn, bounce all your creatures, which would be lame anyway. Especially since you'd make them discard. Yeah, that would be way too harsh. But yeah, I very much like this. 7 drops are always tough to first pick, but this effect might be strong enough where you might consider it. Okay, next we have Metalwork Colossus. 11 drop rare artifact creature construct. I gotta cough real quick, one sec. Excuse me. All right, 11 drop 10/10 rare construct creature. Costs X less to cast, where X is the total converted mana cost of non-creature artifacts you control. Sacrifice 2 artifacts, return Metalwork Colossus from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. So this card just synergizes fantastically well with vehicles, as well as other artifacts you may or may not control. But yeah, like say you have a 4-drop vehicle, you could end up paying 7 mana for a 10/10 that even can come back once you sack artifacts. So Metalwork Colossus seems like a really strong build-around card in this format, definitely. I mean, if you don't have any other artifacts, it's not good at all. But if you have a bunch of artifacts, this card could potentially be cast. You get a 10/10 for like 5 if you play your cards right. So I like it. I like it. Okay. Next we have a foreign card. Disappearing Act. 1 and 2 blue instant. As an additional cost to cast Disappearing Act, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Counter target spell. So, this card is not bad. It's return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. It's kind of an unusual card, right? Because it's got more of a cost than cancel does, because you actually have to bounce something. But if you have enter the battlefield abilities, if you have a permanent that has a detrimental aura on it, if your opponent is going to, say, cast a spell that does multiple, well, if you're countering it, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, I still think this card is going to see some play. I don't think it's a slam first pick, but it's a pretty good card. It's an additional cost, too, so they can't counter. The cool thing about this card is they can't counter. Like, they can't kill your permanent in response. So basically, let's say they cast a removal spell on one of your creatures. You cast this because you're paying the return a permanent as an additional cost. Whatever you return can't be destroyed in response. So that is kind of interesting. But all in all, I don't think this card is like bonkers, but it's good against detrimental auras and stuff like that, and enter the battlefield effects. So I think it's cool for that reason. All right, next we have Perpetual Timepiece. 2 generic mana, uncommon artifact. Tap, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. 2, exile Perpetual Timepiece, shuffle any number of target cards from your graveyard into your library. So, not that strong of a card. If you have like a bunch of graveyard effects, if you have effects with cards in your graveyard, it's good. But other than that, it's sort of supposed to be, you can like design your deck, essentially. So if you have like no deck left, you can just sort of, but you have to shuffle it too, so you don't even get to design it. This card's not that good. I don't think it's a super high pick by any stretch. Be cool if you could mill your opponent with it, but that's Millstone's job, right? Okay. Next we have Prophetic Prism. This is a reprint. 2 generic mana, common artifact. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and then 1 and tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's like a dirty little way. It's like a Shimmering Grotto in artifact form. Certainly playable. You're never super happy playing it, But maybe in this format, since there's just a bunch of cards that reward you for having artifacts, since it does cantrip, maybe it's better in this format than it usually is. Okay, next we have Torch Gauntlet. 2 generic mana, common equipment card. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, then equip for 2. Yeah, nothing special. Not even like a super good cost or anything, so I'm not super excited by Torch Gauntlet. Playable, yes. Are you ever excited to play it? Not really. Next, Experimental Aviator, 3 and 2 blue, uncommon, 0/3 human artificer creature with flying. When enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. This card's cool. So you get 3 bodies for 5 mana. You get an 0/3 flyer, so it's a decent blocker, and a couple little Thopters to beat down with. So I actually like this card. I think it's good. Overall, you're paying 5 mana for 2 power, 5 toughness, so like a 5 mana 2/5. Spread over 3 bodies, which isn't great, but I still think this is going to be a very highly desirable card. This is an example of a card that would be great with the +2/+1 creatures you control get +2/+1 instant. Okay, next we have another foreign card, Creative Spark. 1 red sorcery, choose target creature, exile the top card of your library. You may have Creative Spark, deal damage to that creature equal to the converted mana cost of the exiled card. If you don't, you may play that card until end of turn. So let's figure out what this is doing. 1 red, choose a creature, exile a card. You can have it deal damage to converted mana cost. So there's a wild aspect of it that you may be able to kill something, and then on top of that, you can play the card if you don't want to deal the damage. Like if you play this and you're not going to kill the creature, you can just play the spell instead. This card's very good. I really like this card. Like at worst, you're getting another land. You're maybe just getting a land, which is not great, but certainly fine. And at best, you're maybe killing something for 1 mana. Something big, potentially. This is a good card. Creative Spark seems like a really fun uncommon. I like it. Next is Demolish, a reprint, 3 and a red, sorcery, common, destroy target artifact or land. Certainly going to see a lot of limited play because we're in an artifact set. And the fact that it hits lands is not irrelevant either, especially if someone is playing a splash color. Next we have Brazen Scourge, 1 and 2 red, 3/3, uncommon, hasty gremlin creature. I've been pretty impressed with all of the gremlins so far, and this one's no exception. 3 mana, 3/3 haste. Yeah, this will see a ton of limited play. It's a very, very good aggressive card. Very good aggressive card in red. Next we have Refurbish, 3 and a white, uncommon sorcery. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not a super exciting res spell, but if you have a lot of vehicles, this could be a very good card. Okay, next we have Ovia Pashiri, Sage Lifecrafter. 1 green, rare human artificer legend, a 1/2. It has 2 and a green tap, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. And then 4 and a green tap, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures you control. This card is great. Wow, this card is super strong. So a 1-drop that spits out creatures all day and feeds its own like second ability. Yeah, I would slam dunk first pick Ovia Pashiri. Very, very strong card. And I suspect it's going to be a tough card to play against if you don't have removal. So get ready for the wrath of Ovia Pashiri. Next we have Captured by the Consulate, 3 and a white, rare aura. Enchant creature you don't control. Enchant creature can't attack. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it has a single target, change the target to enchanted creature if able. This is a great card. I really like this card a lot, actually. This is the first time I've seen it. That's a strong rare. Against certain decks, this will be such a blowout. Okay, I'll turn off your strongest creature. Now, granted, they can still block. You have to keep that in mind. So I imagine this card shines the most in like a blue-white Flyers build, where you're just flying over top of this creature so they never get to interact with it. And then all of their removal spells have to target this creature instead. That's a strong aura. I really like the design of that card. Very cool. Next we have it's interesting that you can't enchant a creature you control, so you can't make them if they don't have a creature. Um, they're still going to be able to choose. You can't like put it on your worst creature or something if they don't have any creatures. Still a very good card. Next we have Cathartic Reunion, 1 and a red, common sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Cathartic Reunion, discard 2 cards, draw 3 cards. So all in all, you're netting 1 card total, and you're not even netting 1 card because you have to play Cathartic Reunion. So it's like 3 card cycle basically, which typically isn't great, but since it's in red, I actually think Cathartic Reunion is going to see quite a bit of limited play. You just have to sandbag a couple lands, and then you get to basically convert them into ideally better cards. Is it insane? No. Would I pick it early? No, but I would definitely play it in limited. I think it's probably fine in limited. We've seen stuff like this in red before, like Tormenting Voice. This makes you too, because it's an additional cost, discard 2 cards. So you don't just get to have 1 Cathartic Reunion in hand and be able to draw 3. That'd be way too good. So you would need to sandbag lands, I think, to really effectively use Cathartic Reunion. Or maybe there's just a couple cards in hand that don't do anything for you anymore, in which case you just need to draw 3. But I like this ability in red at common. I think it's more playable than it looks. Next we have High Spire Artisan. 2 and a green for a 0/3 common elf artificer creature with reach, and it has Fabricate 1. So it's a 3 mana 1/4 reach or an 0/3 reach that gives you a 1/1 artifact. Perfectly acceptable card. I like that it's got reach. It's a good defensive green card. Next we have Weldfast Wingsmith. 3 and a blue, 3/3 common human artificer creature. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Weldfast Wingsmith gains flying until end of turn. This is a good card. Definitely a good common in blue. Like I said, they're probably going to have a lot of artifacts, and this will help you for your blue-white flyers deck for decks like that. So, good common. Next we have Weapon Craft Enthusiast. 2 and a black, 0/1, uncommon Aetherborn Artificer creature with Fabricate 2. So, it's a 3 mana 2/3 or a 3 mana that gives you 3 bodies. All of these Fabricate spells I think are very good. Getting multiple bodies for 1 card, especially since it's generating artifacts. Like I said, there's a lot of artifact synergistic cards in this format, so I think the Fabricate cards are going to be highly desirable. Next we have Nimble Innovator. 3 and a blue, 2/2 common artificer creature. Vidalcan Artificer. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. So this card wishes it was the Drownyard Wizard card. I don't know why I can't remember any of the cards from Eldritch Moon right now, but 4 mana 2/4 that investigates. This is a 4 mana 2/2 that draws you a card. I'd rather get 2 bonus toughness and have to pay 2 mana at some point to investigate than get 2 less toughness and get the card right away. So I think this card's probably worse than that card, but still a very good card since it just nets you a card right away and possibly trades with something or helps trade for something. And I just like that it's a cantrip creature. 4-drop slots are typically just get clunked up. They get a little too clunky. You really want your 4-drops to be premium. So I don't think this is like a hyper premium 4-drop, but I would definitely play it, and I think it's going to see plenty of play in limited. Next we have Ambitious Aetherborn. 4 and a black, common Aetherborn Artificer creature. It's a 4/3 Fabricate 1. So 5 mana 5/4, fantastic in black. Or 5 mana 4/3, get a 1/1. Yeah, this card's great. Very, very good Fabricate black creature. All the black creatures at common I've seen so far I've been impressed with. Next we have Reckless Fireweaver. 1 and a black, common, 1/3 human artificer creature. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Reckless Fireweaver deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is a cool, aggressive card. If you have a bunch of Fabricate, this card will deal all sorts of damage. Otherwise, 2 mana 1/3, not a very good beatdown card. So I don't think this card's going to be super highly picked for that reason, because it just doesn't beat down well for red aggressive decks, but it does have like a triggered ability that I presume would be at its best in an aggressive deck. So it's kind of, once again, its power and toughness are at odds with its triggered ability. Should have been a 2-mana 2/2, but probably just too good at common if it had that. Next we have Restoration Gearsmith. 2 white and a black for a 3/3 uncommon human artificer creature. When enters battlefield, return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It's a great card. Super strong. Gravedigger effect. Granted, it's uncommon and it costs a white mana. It's 2 color, but it gets to return an artifact or a creature, so it hits your vehicles, and it's a 3/3. So this is a super high quality uncommon. Very strong card. Next we have Aviary Mechanic. 1 white 2/2 common dwarf artificer. When enters battlefield, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. So this is actually a fine card. I love that it's a grizzly bear at worst. At best, you maybe get rid of a detrimental aura, or you maybe get another into the battlefield effect. Very cool utility white common. Next we have Chief of the Foundry, a reprint, 3 mana, 2/3 uncommon artifact creature construct. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Super good card. I imagine this will be a first pick a lot of times in this format. It just, you want a dedicated Fabricate deck, but this card is very, very good. I really like this card. Chief of the Foundry. If you recall, I played it in my blue-red Thopter standard deck, and it was an all-star in that. I think this is going to be a limited all-star as well. Uncommon Lord effect. Okay, next we have Foundry Inspector. 3 generic mana for an uncommon 3/2 construct creature. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is a good card. I like that it's just 3 mana 3/2. The worst aspect of it. At worst, I mean. And then it makes all your artifacts cheaper. So if you have 6+ artifacts, you're going to be really happy to play this card. And if you have 0 artifacts other than Foundry Inspector, you're still going to be happy to have a 3 mana 3/2. So good card. Next is Workshop Assistant. 3 mana, 1/2 common artifact creature construct. When it dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So this card's playable, not super exciting, but if you have, once again, 6+ artifacts, you could very much hope to get a vehicle back with the Workshop Assistant. And possibly even, multi-block something and still get value, even if they 2-for-1 you in the combat situation. So Workshop Assistant's a playable, albeit not super exciting common, but certainly playable. Next is Self-Assembler. 5 mana, 4/4 common assembly worker creature. When enters battlefield, you may search your library for an assembly worker creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So 5 mana, 4/4. You can search for an assembly creature, and this card seems great. 5 mana, 4/4, and if you have more than one in your deck, you just get to find another one. I didn't see if there were any other assembly workers, but I assume this is the only one. Maybe we'll see some more later, or maybe I just can't remember other ones that I've already gone over. But yeah, I actually really like this card. Just good colorless card advantage. And a 4/4 is always good. There's no format where 4/4s are bad. Era of Innovation is the next card. 1 and a blue enchantment uncommon. Whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, you get 2 energy counters. And then you pay 6 energy counters and sacrifice it, draw 3 cards. This card's good. I like this card. You do have to pay the extra mana whenever an artifact or creature enters. But yeah, if you play this with Fabricate, let me make sure I'm saying Fabricate right, just because some of these cards seem so good with Fabricate. Or create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature. Does that mean the 1/1, if you're creating it, does that mean it doesn't enter the battlefield? I imagine it's got to. I don't remember the word create ever being used before. So I imagine they have to enter the battlefield. So you play a creature with Fabricate 1, you pay 2 extra mana, you get 4 energy counters. It seems like that's what it's saying. in which case this card is pretty awesome. And eventually you just cash it out for 3 cards. Yeah, I really like Era of Innovation a lot. That's a great card. Good card advantage. All right, next we have Master of Marionettes, 4 and 2 black. It's a Fabricate 3 human artificer creature, 1/3. And whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to Master of Marionette's power. I like this card. This is cool. So it's a 4/6. It's either a 6 mana 4/6 or a 1/3 that gives you 3 extra bodies. And basically each time one of your little servo creatures dies or any of your artifacts dies, they would lose 1 life or 4 life if you have a bunch of artifacts, and you fabricate by putting 3 counters on it. So I like Master of Marionettes. This seems like a good multi-purpose card. Next we have Insidious Will. 2 and 2 blue instant. Choose 1. Counter target spell. You may choose new targets for target spell. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is a good card. It's got good utility, right? Because you can swap what a removal spell is doing, so it kills their opponent's creature instead. You can counter a big creature, or you can just copy an instant or sorcery you or an opponent controls. So I like Insidious Will a lot. Is it a slam first pick? I don't know, because it's a 4 mana spell, but all 3 of those abilities might just be useful enough where this could be a first pick, possibly. Okay, next we have Fairgrounds Warden, 2 and white, uncommon, dwarf soldier creature. It's a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Fairgrounds Warden leaves the battlefield. Okay, we've certainly seen this effect before. This effect is always very good and limited. This is basically just a Fiend Slayer. I think an easier to cast one. Yes, this will be a slam first pick most of the time, because it's such a strong ability. It really is that good. And it just always exiles token creatures. They don't get them back. So yes, Fairgrounds Warden, probably first pickable. Almost. I can't imagine a lot of things you take over Fairgrounds Warden at uncommon. There's some rares you take over it, but I bet you take this over a lot of rares too. Okay, next is Syndicate Trafficker. 1 and a black. Rare 3/1 Aetherborn Rogue creature. It has 1 sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains indestructible until end of turn. This card's good. It's an efficient beater, 2 mana 3/1. And then if they ever block it, you could just sack one of your little Fabricate tokens, make it a 4/2 indestructible until end of turn. Yeah, Syndicate Trafficker seems like the real deal in this format. A very, very strong card. Next we have Fumigate, 3 and 2 white, rare sorcery, destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. So these effects are always slam first pick and limited. This one's even better because not only are you blowing up their board, in which case you're getting a bunch of card advantage, but you're also gaining life. So yeah, Fumigate seems like super strong. Okay, next we have Visionary Augmenter, 2 and 2 white. Uncommon 2/1 Dwarf Artificer with Fabricate 2. It's got Fabricate. Yeah, this card's fantastic. 4 mana 4/3 or 4 mana 2/1 with 2 extra dudes. Very, very good. Probably easily first pickable a lot of the time, I imagine. Next we have Renegade Freighter. 3 mana 4/3 common vehicle. Whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn, and it has crew for 2. This is a great common. I like the vehicles. They've all been pretty impressive. 3 mana 4/3 that attacks as a 5/4 trample and only has crew 2. That's good. I like it. Next we have Aradara Express. 5 mana common 8/6 vehicle with menace with crew 4. Jeez. Well, 8/6 menace is an Omega beat stick, and granted, crew 4 not so easy to get, but if you do have it, yeah, swing with an 8/6 menace. That is beastly. I like that card. I gotta really see how these vehicles play before I know exactly how good they are, but so far I'm thinking they're probably pretty awesome. Okay, next we have Ballista Charger. 5 mana, 6/6 uncommon vehicle. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and it's got crew 3. Okay, seems fine. Maybe kill something, a little piddly fabricate thing that's trying to block it, and it's an efficient 6/6. Very good. Okay, next we have Sequestered Stash. This is an uncommon land. Let me see how much longer we have. How much longer am I going here? Did I already go past where I was supposed to go? Or am I behind? I think I actually got ahead of myself. So somehow I went too far. So we're just going to make this card I'm on now the last card, and we'll finish off the spoilers in the next video. So where is the card? Okay. Sequestered Stash. We'll leave off here. It's a uncommon land. It taps for a colorless, and then you pay 4 and tap it, sacrifice it, put the top 5 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may put an artifact card from your graveyard on top of your library. So not card advantage, but it is a good utility land. So I think this will be certainly playable and limited. And it sort of feeds its own ability, even if you don't have an artifact card in your graveyard. So is it a highly desirable pick? No. Is it a good utility land? Yes. I think it'll see some limited play for sure. All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the spoiler. Feel free to comment with any concerns or things I overlooked or things I said incorrectly. I'll be happy to correct them in the final installment of the Kaladesh spoilers. Looking forward to playing this set. Thank you so much. Goodbye.